Our first glucosamine product came out in 1979.
Oh, no kidding.
So I've been using glucosamine for a little over 40 years, but our first glucosamine product came out in 1979. I started using it myself as an athlete. Even when I was young, I realized that training for sports was abusive to my body. Fortunately, we tend to compete in sports when we're young, so our bodies can contend with that abuse. Now that I'm older, and I talked about this previously, my entire sports and exercise regime are designed around sort of one basic principle: to do as much as I can without doing any harm to myself. Whereas when you're young, you could just abuse yourself and you bounced back immediately. So glucosamine and chondroitin are basically about giving your body the building blocks necessary to maintain the structural components of our joints, whether we're talking about our cartilage, our ligaments, our tendons, our synovial fluid. Glucosamine and chondroitin, these molecules are an integral part. They're not drugs or medicines. They're not an anti-inflammatory drug for your joints. Much as other folks who will offer this product, and we'll talk about turmeric in a second. I was just watching a video online where someone was talking about turmeric and talking about it like it was an anti-inflammatory drug, talking about cancer and things like that. I mean, it's just crazy, the mischaracterization. Supplements offer remarkable benefits, and they don't need to be exaggerated or mischaracterized for them to be interesting. And when it comes to glucosamine and chondroitin, I actually think, and it applies to everyone, whether your joints are in great shape or terrible shape. And for a lot of us, as we get older, the things we did in our youth challenges our joints, or we might just have genetic issues that we inherited or whatever it might be. But our joints are structurally similar, or actually structurally identical in terms of their biochemical requirements or their structural requirements. And I think it's better to speak about a product in terms of its structural role. When you talk about calcium, there's no need to mischaracterize calcium as a drug for your bones. Calcium's calcium. It's a building block. It's like the bricks and mortar. And the same for glucosamine and chondroitin. There's no need to mischaracterize it as a drug for your joints when the molecular role, the structural role they play, I think in my mind, is more than sufficient.
Andrew, just a real quick question though. Do you have the ability to put more quantity in? Because at this point, we've got a couple hundred in each size.
Well, so what I'll do is after the show, there's a couple of products, including, I just found out, our Ultimate Friendly Flora and our Cranberry. The large size is running very, very low. And I'll confirm everything. If there's an issue, I'll let everybody know. But I think we're fine through this evening.
Gotcha.
And we'll make sure, again, we make everything. So 99% of the time, we're always able to make more. Sometimes with the Today Special, when it's a special formula like we've done today, it becomes more difficult.
Absolutely. So again, to that end, you just pick your size of choice: 60, 120, 240, and 480. Big, whoa, holy smoke. I'm sorry, I just saw the savings on that 400. Wow, okay. Because I'm getting mine. That's got to be, that's like another Today's Special. So obviously you're getting big savings on any one of the sizes that you choose today, but you're gonna take it every day, especially if you do have joint issues and joint concerns as I do. I know I'm only able to move through life as well as I have been doing because I take this. And I think we all know who we are. If your joints talk to you, whether it's because of genetics or, you know, just movement in your job or whatever it might be, and movement is life, let's be honest. But if you're gonna do it, wowie zowie. That 240 count size, normally it would be $119. That's where our prices will go. It's at $59.90. It's half off. This is more than half off on that 480 count size. That's like,
it's great savings. What I want to talk, a lot of folks who get glucosamine and chondroitin products, they have two experiences. One, they don't work. Which again, if you read the reviews on this product, you'll read reviews that are probably 95% positive. The product delivers. And the reason the typical glucosamine and chondroitin product doesn't work is because they use another form of glucosamine, not glucosamine sulfate, which is what the science talks about. They'll use glucosamine hydrochloride. They use that because it ends up being much, much, much less expensive. I think if we use glucosamine hydrochloride, we could probably drop the cost of this product by a good 40% if we used the wrong ingredient. And in so doing, we'd create a product that doesn't work. So what good is saving 40% if it doesn't work? The other thing is glucosamine hydrochloride, and a typical product is in a tablet. So again, 99% of glucosamine chondroitin products are in tablets. You take glucosamine hydrochloride, you put it in a tablet, you basically have something that's going to irritate the lining of your stomach. Hydrochloride, that's hydrochloric acid, that's HCl. So glucosamine HCl in a rock hard tablet in a small mass that sits in one location. When you take my product, it's glucosamine sulfate. But when you take that glucosamine sulfate, it is, and as you'll see,
look at that powder.
It disperses immediately.
Yeah, wow.
So it's kind of the same idea of if you put a sugar cube in a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, that sugar cube will sit in one spot for a while until it dissolves. A tablet is even worse. When you have an ultrafine powder that you dump in you empty into your coffee or tea, it dissolves on the surface.
Yeah.
That's why we use ultrafine powders. So it delivers the nutrients in a fashion that works for you, dissolves instantly, can be absorbed, because if it doesn't dissolve, it can't be absorbed. So it dissolves instantly, and it does so without stomach upset.
Absolutely. I'll just do this real quickly because we got to scoot along. But even if you were buying just the glucosamine and the chondroitin separately, I mean, you can see, I mean, the savings really speak for themselves.
And then ours is different. It's just, I know, because we often are looking for different sources of glucosamine chondroitin.
Right.
We use unusual forms. We don't use the sodium salt. So if you're watching your blood pressure, typical chondroitin contains sodium. And most folks watching their blood pressure watch their sodium intake. So we make sure that you're getting the best forms of each of the ingredients and something that's going to be easy to swallow and gentle to even the most sensitive stomach.
Absolutely. I know we won't have time to do a full airing, but you know, I've got to get my turmeric.
But turmeric, I'll try to talk about turmeric later.
Okay.
And again, I was just watching a video online where they were